FCMB is a bank I know very little about. I have never banked with them. I am not their shareholder. But in this race to new consolidation, their share price is low. Their group CEO made very huge claims in his speech in the facts behind the offer session. My interest is piqued. Is this the one we should buy? Is it? Is it? Hello my people, welcome back to another session where we dissect a Nigerian bank. You know all these Nigerian banks that are coming to beg us to invest in them. Yeah, we come here every time they release a public offer, they announce their public offer, and we dissect them, we tear them vam, because it's our money we are talking about here. We have to dissect a company very well before we invest. It's not just because some of them come and make very great presentations, some of them, give us good behavior while they're making the presentation. It's not just about that. We have to press calculator and bring out our magnifying glass. Prior to today, the only thing I know about FCMB is that it's that bank that used to be a merchant bank. It used to be First City Merchant Bank. Yeah, back in the day when I was very young. Later, it moved to, or should I say it attained commercial bank status, and it became First City Monument Bank. Another thing is that I don't know about these days, but they used to have very impressive branches. I remember their branch on Aba Road in Port Harcourt when I was doing my internship, when I was doing my youth service on Aba Road near Waterlines. Very huge building, those buildings that look like all these ancient Greek buildings. Yeah, their branches stood out. So yeah, I'm not their investor. Nothing has ever made them stand out, when I was heavily investing in shares. So I didn't buy their shares back then. But because of this new consolidation, I'm trying to pay attention to every single Nigerian bank that is coming out with either a public offer, a rights issue, or both. For FCMB, they're going for a public offer. Actually, their group CEO was asked why they didn't go for a rights issue. Are they not worried that their own shares, like especially the biggest shareholders in the bank, are they not worried that their shares will be diluted and all that? He said that they're not worried about that, that they will come together and make sure that, that their shares are not diluted. I learned a lot about this bank. It's good to listen to all these things, these annual general meetings or this kind of thing, facts behind the offer. I learned a lot about this company. I've never paid this bank any attention. Actually, I was impressed, I must say, with the presentation. Out of all the presentations I've watched since this consolidation thing, I can say that this one is the best. The guy came prepared, and he was just giving facts, and I didn't even know that they had all these other subsidiaries. They have a lot of sister companies in the financial sector. They have a credit and loans company where they give people loans. Of course, they support agriculture a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm impressed with what the company is doing, and they're into tech a lot, like software. They are a digitized bank with their own cloud native core banking platform. They will reduce their technology costs, and they plan to sell this to other companies to make money. They have their own engineering organization with over 70 software engineers, and they plan to grow in this direction. That's actually part of what they want to use the money that they will mop up during this public offer for. So I like this company. It's not like GT Bank that is using their own money to build brick and mortar branches in 2024. Yeah, I'm impressed with it, but I actually like what they're going to do. But it's not all about nice presentation, talk. It's not just about that. I usually bring out my magnifying glass. So what are the details of this public offer? Their offer price is at 7 naira 30 kobo per share, and they hope to make 110 billion naira from this public offer. So compare that to GT Bank's 400 billion naira from public offer alone. So this is just a fraction, because these guys, they have other plans about how they hope to make money to make up for the fact, because they're looking for international license. So what they're looking for eventually to have the cash they need to have to be able to qualify for international license is 500 billion naira. So they're only raising about 20% of that. It has started already on the 29th of July and it will end on 4th September. A whole month plus, yeah? So you have time to buy in case you are interested after our analysis. Yeah. Now, let's read some of the claims that their group CEO made during his speech. He said that their PE ratio is 1.3. If you remember in the videos where I talk about the factors that I check before I invest in a company, before I buy the shares of a company, what I check. One of those things that I check is the PE ratio, price to earnings ratio. And if you remember in that video, I said that you want this price to earnings ratio to be as close to 1 as possible. He's trying to say that their own is 1.3. We're going to check it today. It's not just about quoting figures for us. We're going to confirm it. And then he said that their dividend per share grew by 100% year on year. That means that they paid double what they paid the previous year. And then he said that their share price over the past 5 years rose by 305%. We're going to check that as well, but I won't be surprised, because just between late last year and now, the share prices of every company, not just their own bank, not just the financial sector, rose like this in Nigeria. We know what happened there. So I'm not impressed. If that's part of why he's quoting, I'm not impressed, because share prices of most Nigerian companies were pretty flat over the past few years. So yeah, we know where that 305% came from, Mr. Balogun. So what will the money they raise from this public offer be used for? They will use this money to support their recapitalization. Yeah, 20% of their recapitalization. If they manage to sell all these shares that they put up for sale, they will use that money as part of their recapitalization. They plan to raise only 100 billion, okay, 110 billion. That's about 20% of the amount of money they need, because they need 500 billion because they're looking for international license. If you're looking for international license in this consolidation, you need to raise 500 billion. If you just want national license within Nigeria, you need to raise 200 billion. FCMB said that they will raise more money by selling minority stakes, their minority stakes, because all their other companies are pretty much, they're not public companies. So they're just owned by maybe him and his brothers, or them and a few friends. So they want to sell their minority stake in some of their companies. The one I remember he mentioned was the credit one, the credit company, the loans company. So they want to sell a little bit of it, make it public, sell private placement. I'm interested in that. I would like to know when they announce that one. Private placement first, and then they'll do an IPO, which is initial public offer, the very first time that they start trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So yeah, they are very confident that they can raise money from there as well. And then they will invest in technology. They're a technology, from his presentation, they're a technology focused company. Technology. In fact, there was one that made me happy. He was saying that over the next few years that they will focus on building the digital economy base. Yeah, not like GT Bank that wants to build their brick and mortar branches. You should move with the times. Educate your customers on how to go digital, because in the other video, a lot of people were arguing, oh, how many people have access to the internet? How many people do this? You'll be surprised at how many people have access to the internet in Nigeria. And for some of those people, they don't have digital banking just because their banks are not teaching them. They just want brick and mortar. Come to the branch and wait for hours. No. You need to educate people. You need to have several customer service personnel that will be educating people. Press this button, press. Anybody can learn all these things. You people will be surprised at how grandmas and grandpas will learn all these things. And then they will drive business expansion. So they plan to, he wasn't specific about that one. He just said drive business expansion. And because of their expansion, they want to invest in human capital. So as they're expanding, they will be needing to hire more people. They will need to train these people. Yeah, so that's what they said that they will use this money for. Good, eh? So in order to entice us to buy their shares, he said that their aim is to see their earnings per share continue to grow and their dividends per share continue to grow. Mr. Balogun. Yeah, those two can be growing parallel. Yeah, we agree. But you need to focus, based on the research I've done already, you need to focus on your dividend yield. Your dividend yield is poor. You need to focus on your dividend payout ratio. When you combine the earnings and the dividends, then you get these ones growing as well, because earnings and dividends may be growing on their own without touching each other. You will think that you're growing, but they need to interact with each other. Then we know if you're actually growing. It's not when you make huge earnings, you pay your shareholders statutory money today. Tomorrow you pay us a little bit more statutory money. It's still statutory money. So what I'm interested in is your dividend yield growing and your dividend payout ratio growing. Mr. Balogu, if you're watching, will these ones grow? Are you making a promise that they will grow? Your profits are increasing, but you're not paying your shareholders good money, huh? Stingy Men Association. One of their shareholders asked why they don't pay interim dividends. The guy that answered the question said, "Hey, we'll start paying interim dividends from 2026. That is after the consolidation." If you see the face of that man that answered the question, I was like, okay, with this face, I don't trust you. Even at that, I'm not interested in how often a company pays dividends. I don't really care about interim or final dividend. What I care about is the quality of the dividend. Because you may be paying statutory money and you still tear it into two and pay me twice a year. It doesn't make any difference. It's actually unnecessary paperwork. You spend money prepare, because it's human beings that will prepare that half-year dividend and then prepare it again at the end of the year. I would rather you save money and pay dividend once a year instead of tearing it into two. You just be answering we pay interim dividend and final dividend, but the quality of the dividend is nothing to write home about. So now, out of all these things that you've listened to, is FCMB the one we should buy? Is it? After all, it's cheap. It's not about cheap, it's about percentages. If Mr. Balogun can promise us that he will increase the dividend yield and increase the dividend payout ratio, maybe we can jump on this bank. When are they even closing? September 4th. So there's still time. Mr. Balogun, talk to us. Give us an incentive to invest. It's not about this is increasing. It's the interaction, pari passu increment that we want. Let me know what you think. Are you buying? Are you a shareholder of FCMB? What do you think about this offer? Bye bye. See you in the comments.